No 1, ITEM 1. A Brief History of Mankind. Source: ChatGPT. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind is a best-selling book written by Israeli historian Yuval Noah Harari that explores the history of humankind development, from early hunter-gatherer society to modern civilized society. The following is a summary of the main contents of the book. Hunter-gatherer age. The book discusses early humans who were hunter-gatherers who lived in the wild and relied on food from the natural environment to survive. This period lasted hundreds of thousands of years. Agricultural Revolution. The agricultural revolution marked the transition of humans to agriculture and sedentary life, and the beginning of growing and raising animals. This transformation brought about the rise of cities, increased population, accumulation of wealth, and changes in social organization. The rise of civilizations. The book discusses the rise of different civilizations, including ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, China, and India. The rise of these civilizations brought about the development of political institutions, laws, religion, and culture. Scientific Revolution and Industrial Revolution. The book emphasizes the huge impact of the scientific revolution and the industrial revolution on human society. The scientific revolution changed people's understanding of the world, while the industrial revolution brought about the rise of modern industry and technology. Imperialism and Globalization. The book explores the age of imperialism, when European nations built empires across the globe, and the effects of globalization, including multinational corporations, international trade, and cultural exchange. Challenges of the 21st century. The book discusses current challenges, including climate change, developments in bioengineering, artificial intelligence, and other technologies, as well as global political and economic changes. Overall, this book explores key turning points and evolutions in human history, emphasizing how human societies evolved from hunter-gatherers to the modern global civilization. This book delves into humanity's past to help us better understand our future. Source: Beijing Evening News. History and philosophy have many eternal responsibilities to mankind. A Brief History of Humanity, A Brief History of Today and A Brief History of the Future are a trilogy of classic works by Yuval Harari. They are different from ordinary history books. In addition to their length of time, breadth of space and depth of thinking, they have a grand interdisciplinary construction. The emotional color between the lines is particularly contagious, reflecting a wide range of value positions. Recently, a 10th anniversary edition of Yuval Harari's trilogy was released. Since the invention of writing, complex stories have emerged. From the scribes using papyrus and stylus to influence the fate of the entire village, to the priests writing the deeds and commandments of the gods into scriptures to gain supreme power, to the contemporary social structure constructed by the economic system, education system, and political system. Whether it is myth and reality, or currency and bread, the delicate balance between reality and reality connects the network of human cooperation. Yuval Harari took the most famous passage from the Declaration of Independence: all men are created equal, and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. From biology and from a scientific perspective, it is rewritten as everyone evolves differently and is born with certain variable characteristics, including life and the pursuit of pleasure. This is indeed a creative analogy of seeing the big from the small, and cleverly illustrates what we all know. The world we live in is an order constructed by differences, and this order is precisely the foundation of human cooperation and social harmony. The wheel of history moves forward, from the cognitive revolution to the agricultural revolution to the scientific revolution. The future has become the metaphors of historical evolution. After the agricultural revolution, the importance of the future was at an all-time high. The cyclical nature of the production season determines that farmers start working at sunrise in spring and rest at sunset until the harvest is harvested in autumn. However, climate change and the uncertainty of the national political situation require farmers to reserve grain to cope with poor harvests and excessive taxes. Therefore, the enlightenment of modern science may be attributed to the mentality of pursuing and conquering the unknown, which is constantly strengthened in the feedback loop with politics and economy. People try to resist the ancient system of natural selection through intelligent design and become the masters of the future. By A Brief History of the Future takes the future as its theme and tells us where biology, religion, culture, technology, economy, etc. will go. The web of known stories may be scattered and come back again, but human society will still overcome all difficulties and break through zero-sum and move toward right-sum. Taking the modern economy as an example, trust in the future is essentially a belief in the overall growth of the economy. The concept hidden behind it also includes the use of redistribution or third distribution to transfer the wealth of the rich to the poor, thereby promoting production and consumption, and repeating the cycle to achieve humanity thrives. In the economic system, the concept of credit is extended by trust in the future. The basic assumption must be that future resources will far exceed current resources, so using future income to invest in the present will bring many new and beautiful things. Business. If the contract of modernity gives mankind the power to move forward, then humanism gives mankind inner confidence. We no longer need God or an invisible hand to limit our power. We can find the meaning we need by trusting our own feelings and ideals. With the advancement of science and technology, especially biotechnology, and repeated calculations of computer algorithms, the decision-making authority of progress seems to weaken the role of human beings, thus leading to new storylines, such as technological humanism and materialism. As pointed out by the Gilgamesh Project, a plan to use science to extend life, technological humanism believes that human beings are still the pinnacle of the Creator, and humans should use technology to create the God of wisdom, that is, not only retaining the basic human characteristics, with upgraded physical and mental capabilities, and the ability to fight against the most complex unconscious algorithms to achieve human enhancement. Although, the young but renowned historian Yuval Harari always uses a teasing and sarcastic tone in the trilogy to blame human beings for causing endless ecological destruction from the moment they stepped into the unknown land, so that human beings have no choice but to he does not face global climate change and ecological degradation, but at the same time, he modestly and enthusiastically hopes that mankind can make long-term and considerable breakthroughs and progress, and realize the miracle of growth. After reading the whole book, I can't help but ask myself, human thinking has never stopped, and every story continues. Can human beings embark on the boat of technology and achieve self-salvation? No. 2, ITEM 2. Yuval Noah Harari. Source: ChatGPT. Yuval Noah Harari is an Israeli historian and author known for his works on history, technology, and culture. Here is some important information about Yuval Harari. Education: Yuval Harari received his PhD from Oxford University, majoring in history. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. One of Yuval Harari's most famous works is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, which was published in 2014 and quickly became an international bestseller, translated into many languages. It explores key moments in human history, including the early hunter-gatherer era, the agricultural revolution, the rise of civilization and the development of modern society. Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow. Another important book by Yuval Harari is Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow, which explores the challenges that may be faced in the future, and possible advances, including topics such as bioengineering, artificial intelligence, and globalization. 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. In addition, Yuval Harari also wrote 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, which explores various issues in modern society, including politics, technology, and the future of humanity. Research fields. Yuval Harari's research fields include global history, economic history, cultural history, and history of science and technology. He provided profound insights into the evolution of human society and the development of civilization. Global visibility. Yuval Harari's work has received widespread attention and attracted the attention of readers and scholars around the world. His work has been influential among both academics and general readers, and has inspired many thoughtful reflections on history and the future. Yuval Harari is one of the well-known contemporary thinkers and writers. His works help us better understand human history and the future direction. Source: Wikipedia. Yuval Noah Harari, February 24, 1976, also translated as Yuval Noah Harari, is an Israeli historian. Harari was born in Haifa, Israel, in 1976. His family was a secular Jewish family. His father was a state-employed armaments engineer and his mother was an office administrator. Harari taught himself to read when he was 3 years old. He has been studying in a class for intellectually gifted children at the Leo Beek Educational Center in Haifa since he was 8 years old. As part of the Atida program, he deferred his mandatory military service in the Israel Defense Forces to continue his university studies, but due to health problems he was exempted from completing his military service after studying. At the age of 17, he began studying history and international relations at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. From 1993 to 1998, Harari studied medieval history and military history at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. He completed his PhD degree from Jesus College, Oxford, in 2002, where he studied under Stephen J. Gunn. From 2003 to 2005, he conducted postdoctoral research in history as a Yad Hanadaf Fellow. Harari was first exposed to the work of Judd Diamond while at Oxford University, and he admitted that Judd Diamond had an influence on his own writing. In a salon at the Berggruen Institute, Harari said that Diamond's Guns, Germs, and Steel was an epiphany in my academic career. I realized that I could actually write a book like this. No 3, ITEM 3. Human Evolution Process. Source: ChatGPT. The evolution of humankind is a long and complex history spanning millions of years. The following are the major milestones in human evolution. The origin of modern humans. The origin of humans is usually traced to Africa, where modern humans, also known as Homo sapiens, emerged about 200,000 years ago. This was an important evolutionary moment that marked the emergence of humans as a unique species. Early humans. Before the emergence of modern humans, there were several different species of humans on Earth, including Neanderthals and Denisovans. These early humans coexisted with Homo sapiens and sometimes interacted with each other. Hunter-gatherer era. Early humans were hunter-gatherers who relied on gathering plants and hunting animals for their livelihood. This period lasted for hundreds of thousands of years until the advent of agriculture. Agricultural Revolution. About 10,000 years ago, humans began to grow crops and domesticate animals for agricultural production. This transformation led to the settlement of human society, the rise of cities, an increase in population, the accumulation of wealth, and changes in social organization. The rise of civilization. The agricultural revolution created the conditions for the emergence of civilization. Different civilizations arose in different regions, including ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, China, and India. These civilizations developed political institutions, laws, religion, and culture. Scientific and industrial revolutions. Important transitions in modern history include the Scientific Revolution and the Industrial Revolution. The Scientific Revolution changed people's understanding of the natural world, and the Industrial Revolution led to the rise of modern industry, technology, and economic systems. Globalization. Since the 20th century, globalization has become a major trend. Improvements in communications, transportation, and trade have made the world more interconnected and facilitated multinational corporations, international cooperation, and cultural exchange. Modern challenges. Humanity currently faces a range of challenges, including climate change, bioengineering, artificial intelligence, and global political changes. These challenges will shape human evolution in the future. The evolution of humanity is a story of constant development and change, reflecting technological, cultural, social, and political evolution. This process involved multiple key moments that shaped the nature of our modern society. Source: Wikipedia. Human evolution used to refer to various assumptions about the emergence of modern humans based on evolutionary theory in the old anatomical sense. Often includes the evolutionary history of primates. It mainly studies the evolutionary process of the emergence of modern Homo sapiens as a unique hominid species, rather than the evolutionary process of the emergence of primates. The study of human evolution spans multiple disciplines, including physical anthropology, primatology, archaeology, paleontology, behavior, linguistics, evolutionary psychology, embryology, and genetics. In the context of human evolution, the proper term human refers to the genus Homo, but studies of human evolution often include other hominins, such as Australopithecus. Pre-African, branching off from the genus Australopithecus. Scientists estimate that humans branched off from their common ancestor with chimpanzees about 5 million to 7 million years ago. Several Homo species and subspecies that developed subsequently have become extinct. These include Homo erectus, who lived in Asia, and Neanderthals, who lived in Europe. Archaic Homo sapiens, early Homo sapiens, evolved approximately between 250,000 and 400,000 years ago. Regarding the origin of anatomically modern humans, the mainstream view held by scientists is the late African origin of modern humans or the origin out of Africa hypothesis. This theory of evolution maintains that Homo sapiens arose in Africa and migrated out of the African continent about 50,000 to 100,000 years ago, replacing Homo erectus in Asia and Neanderthals in Europe. The single origin theory of human beings originating from Africa has recently been strongly supported by two research evidences, mitochondrial DNA and Y chromosome DNA, and has become the internationally accepted theory of the origin of human evolution. Scientists of another multi-regional origin theory of modern humans or multiple origins hypothesis believe that Homo sapiens emerged from many human groups that are geographically separated but maintain interbreeding with each other. These groups originated from about 2.5 million years ago. Homo erectus, who originated from Africa, engaged in a migration throughout the world. Evidence suggests that several Neanderthal haplogroup types appear in current human groups outside Africa. Furthermore, Neanderthals and other genera such as Denisovans may have contributed up to 6% of their gene body for today's humans. The English word Homo is the name used to refer to the biological genus to which humans belong. It is the Latin word for human beings. It was originally chosen by Carl Linnaeus for use in his classification system. The English word human comes from the Latin humanus, which is the adjective of homo. The Latin word homo comes from the Indo-European root tum, which means earth. Carl Linnaeus and other scientists of the time also believed that great apes were humans' closest relatives due to morphological and anatomical similarities. The possibility that humans are genetically linked to early great apes may not have become clearer until Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species in 1859. This book argues in favor of the concept that new species evolved from earlier species. Darwin's book did not touch on the question of human evolution, saying only, "The light will be cast on the origin of man and his history." The earliest debate about the nature of human evolution occurred between Thomas Henry Huxley and Richard Owen. Huxley believed that humans evolved from apes, and he listed many similarities and differences between humans and apes, especially in his 1863 book Evidence as to Man's Place in Nature. In Nature. However, many of Darwin's early supporters, such as Alfred Russel Wallace and Charles Lyell, did not agree that the origin of human mental abilities and moral emotions could be explained by natural selection. When Darwin published The Descent of Man in 1871, he applied evolutionary theory and sexual selection to humans themselves. A serious problem is the lack of fossils intermediate between humans and great apes. It was not until the 1920s that such fossils were unearthed in Africa. In 1925, Raymond Dart described the type specimen of Australopithecus africanus as Tong child, which was found in a cave. An Australopithecus infant. The child's remains include a tiny, well-preserved skull and an endocranial cast of its brain. Although this brain has a smaller brain capacity, 410 cubic centimeters. Its shape is round, different from the brains of chimpanzees and gorillas, and more like the brains of modern humans. In addition, this specimen also shows shorter canine teeth, and the position of the foramen magnum provides evidence of bipedal walking. All these characteristics lead Dart to believe that the Took child was a bipedal human ancestor and a transitional form between apes and humans. Great ape taxonomy, the classification of humans and their close relatives, has changed significantly since the 1950s. For example, Australopithecus gracilis was once thought to be the ancestor of the genus Homo, to which modern humans belong. Australopithecus and Homo sapiens are both part of the tribe Hominini in animal taxonomy. Data collected in the 1970s showed that Australopithecus was a diverse group and that the African species of Australopithecus were not necessarily the direct ancestors of modern humans. Australopithecus were originally classified into slender species and robust species. The current reclassification places the robust species into a separate genus, Paranthropus. Taxonomists place humans, Australopithecus, and related species, and other great apes in the same family, called Hominidae. Advances in DNA sequencing in the 1980s and 1990s, particularly studies of mitochondrial DNA and later Y chromosome DNA, improved understanding of human origins. The sequencing results of mitochondrial DNA and Y chromosome DNA samples from a large number of indigenous groups around the world revealed ancestral information about male and female genetic inheritance. Calibration of genetic dendrogram differences supports the theory of a recent African origin of modern humans. The analysis revealed the greatest diversity of DNA patterns across Africa, suggesting that Africa was the ancestral home of mitochondrial Eve and Y chromosome Adam. No 4, ITEM 4. Homo species. Source: ChatGPT. Homo is a biological genus that includes modern humans, Homo sapiens, and early human species related to modern humans. Here are some of the major Homo species. Homo sapiens. Modern humans are the only surviving species of Homo and are the only species of Homo sapiens on Earth. We are highly cognitive, linguistic, cultural, and technological, and widely distributed across the globe. Homo neanderthalensis. Neanderthals were an early species of Homo that lived in Eurasia approximately 40,000 to 200,000 years ago. They are related to modern humans and coexist in some areas. Neanderthals are extinct, but some modern humans still have Neanderthal DNA in their genes. Homo erectus. Homo erectus is an early human species that lived about 1.9 to 140,000 years ago. They walked upright and adapted to a variety of environments. They were early tool users and may have been one of humanity's Homo sapiens ancestors. Homo habilis. Homo habilis lived about 2.5 million to 1.5 million years ago and was one of the early human species. They used simple stone tools and may have been the ancestors of Homo erectus. Homo floresiensis. Homo floresiensis was a smaller species of Homo that lived on the Indonesian island of Flores about 100,000 to 55,000 years ago. They are known for their small stone tools and use of fire, and are known as dwarf humans. These different species of Homo represent different branches and stages in human evolution. Their emergence and extinction reflect the complexity and diversity of human evolution. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, are the only surviving species of Homo, but our evolution spans millions of years and involves the rise and fall of multiple early human populations. Source: Wikipedia. Homo, scientific name, Homo, is a genus of primates in the family Homo. The modern humans living in the world today, Homo sapiens, are its only surviving species. However, some scholars believe that based on the differences in DNA, chimpanzee and Homo should actually be classified as the same genus in terms of biological classification. However, animal classification only clarifies the evolutionary relationship between them and does not stipulate the genus. How much genetic difference must there be between the genus and the genus? Even if it is classified into the genus Homo, it is still necessary to establish a subgenus of chimpanzee to distinguish the evolutionary differences between humans and chimpanzees. The biggest feature of the genus Homo is its developed brain. Its brain size tripled over 2 million years of evolution. The characteristics of the genus Homo in the family Hominidae are: extraordinarily large cranial capacity, forehead erect, the ever-increasing brain, ESP, retraction of chewing muscles, teeth gradually become similar in size and gradually decrease in size. The upper and lower jaws gradually become smaller. Hands become more flexible. The birth canal becomes wider and less straight. Female breast enlargement, cannot be verified in fossils whether this also applies to extinct hominins. Homo habilis, H. habilis, branched off from Australopithecus. It had smaller molars and larger brain capacity than Australopithecus. It used stone or bone to make tools, and may have lived in trees instead of walking upright. In the early Pleistocene, between 1.5 million and 1 million years ago in Africa, Asia, and Europe, certain groups of Homo hominids developed larger brains, made more advanced stone tools, and could use fire. They were called Homo erectus. The most famous Homo erectus specimen is Peking Man, and others have been unearthed in Indonesia, Africa, and Europe. Homo erectus probably dates back to 1.8 million to 1.25 million years ago, or is a subspecies of Homo erectus. Homo erectus may have become extinct due to the Toba catastrophe. Neanderthals interbred with Homo sapiens around 75,000 BC, so about 1% to 4% of the DNA of modern humans outside Africa is derived from Neanderthals. Competition from Homo sapiens may have contributed to the extinction of Neanderthals. Homo sapiens is the only living species in the genus Homo and evolved from Homo erectus. According to the monophyletic origin theory, Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa, eventually replacing the earlier dispersed Homo erectus. Extinct species, human race: Homo sp, Homo naledi, Homo rudolfensis, Homo habilis, Homo georgicus, Homo ergaster, Homo gottengensis, Homo erectus, Homo antecessor, Homo sprainensis, Homo rhodesiensis, Homo rhodesiensis, Homo heidelbergensis, Homo neanderthalensis, Homo floresiensis, Homo luzonensis, Hunghu 1/Homo tsaikangensis, Homo sp, Homo longi, Homo sapiens idle, Homo sp. No 5, ITEM 5. Causes of human extinction. Source: ChatGPT. Human extinction is a complex issue, and there are many factors that may lead to the extinction of a human species. Here are some possible reasons. Competition: different races may compete when they share the same geographical area, especially when resources are limited. Competition may lead to the extinction of one species or to the replacement of another species. Environmental change: environmental conditions on Earth are constantly changing, including climate, ecosystems, and food supplies. These changes could threaten certain species of humans and lead to their extinction because they are unable to adapt to their new environment. Disease: communicable diseases and epidemics may pose a threat to certain populations. When a species lacks immunity to fight a specific disease, the situation can lead to extinction. Genetic loss: when a population of a species becomes very small or becomes stressed, genetic diversity may decrease, making it more susceptible to genetic mutations, genetic defects, or reduced adaptability. This could speed up the extinction process. Environmental pressures: certain human species may be threatened by human activities, including habitat destruction, hunting, pollution, and climate change. These factors can cause a species to drastically decline in numbers and ultimately lead to extinction. Cultural and social factors: human culture, customs, and social organization can also influence the fate of a race. Cultural clashes, genocide, and social injustice may lead to the extinction of certain human races. Technological advances. Modern technology may pose threats to the survival of some species, such as modern weapons, industrial agriculture, and pollution. Human extinction is part of biological diversity, but we are currently paying more and more attention to how to protect and preserve precious biological resources to avoid future extinction events. One of the goals of international conservation and conservation efforts is to reduce human threats to other living things in order to maintain diversity on Earth. No 6, ITEM 6. Homo sapiens. Source: ChatGPT. Homo sapiens is the only surviving modern human species on Earth and one of the species belonging to the genus Homo. Here are some important characteristics and information about Homo sapiens. Cognition and intelligence. Homo sapiens is known for its highly developed brain and cognitive abilities. They possess sophisticated thinking and language abilities that enable them to create complex cultural, technological, and social organizations. Walking upright. Homo sapiens has the ability to walk upright, a feature that distinguishes it from other primates. This upright walking allows them to use their hands for tool use and manipulation, and to freely explore their environment. Tool use. Homo sapiens are masters of tool use, able to create and use a variety of tools to improve the quality of life, hunting, gathering, construction, and other tasks. Culture and society. Homo sapiens had a rich cultural and social life. They established various forms of social organization, including families, tribes, cities, and states. They began to develop art, religion, law, politics, and other social institutions. Distribution and diversity. Homo sapiens are distributed in various regions around the world and have adapted to a variety of environments, from polar regions to deserts, from mountains to plains. This resulted in diversity in appearance, culture, and language among humans in different regions. Gene flow. Although humans from different regions show diversity, there is also gene flow between them. This type of gene flow has occurred frequently throughout history, resulting in the exchange of genes between different populations. Technology and civilization. The development of science and technology and civilization of Homo sapiens has made great achievements in human history, including the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, and the rise of modern science. These developments changed human lifestyles and brought us into the modern world. The evolution and development of Homo sapiens represents the last critical stage in human evolution, and they have unique cognitive and cultural abilities that allow them to modify the environment and ecosystems on Earth. Their history and evolution are key to our understanding of human nature and behavior. Source: Wikipedia. Homo sapiens, scientific name, Homo sapiens, meaning modern, intelligent human beings, is biologically classified as a species of Mammalia, primates, Hominidae, and Homo. It is divided into early Homo sapiens and late Homo sapiens. A development stage. According to the stage of human development, early Homo sapiens can also be called ancient humans, while late Homo sapiens can be called new humans. There is also the extinct subspecies Homo sapiens. No 7, ITEM 7. People who walk upright. Source: ChatGPT. Walking upright is a characteristic of humans, but not all species can walk upright. Walking upright means that when standing, the main center of gravity of the body is under the soles of the feet rather than between the limbs, and the person is able to walk freely, using the feet as the main tool for movement. The following are human species that can walk upright. Homo sapiens. Modern humans are the only modern human species with a highly developed ability to walk upright. We use our feet to walk and are able to walk, run, and other athletic activities over long distances. Homo erectus. Homo erectus was an early species of the genus Homo that lived from about 1.9 million to 140,000 years ago. They are also known for their ability to walk upright and may have been one of the ancestors of Homo sapiens. Homo habilis. Homo habilis was another early human species that lived about 2.5 million to 1.5 million years ago. They also had the ability to walk upright, but probably had fewer progressive features than later hominins. Upright walking was an important feature in human evolution, allowing us to use our hands for tool use, explore our environment, cooperate, and build complex cultural and social organizations. This behavior is also one of the important characteristics that distinguish humans from other primates. Source: Wikipedia. Homo erectus, also known as Homo erectus, lived in the early to middle Pleistocene. Homo erectus was able to walk upright and make stone tools, and was a human from the early Paleolithic age. People from Beijing, Nanjing, Lanshan, Yuanmo, and Hexian all belong to Homo erectus. It still has ape-like characteristics, such as a low and flat skull, thick brow bones, and a protruding snout. But there are also modern human characteristics, such as being able to stand upright on two legs and having a larger brain capacity than apes. The fossils of Homo erectus were discovered by Eugene Dubois near the Solo River in Java in 1891. The fossils of Homo erectus were discovered by Pei Wenshong in Zhuqiaodian, near Beijing, China in 1923. The fossils of Homo erectus were discovered in Tangshan, near Nanjing, China. The Nanjing Homo erectus fossils, as well as Lanshan man, Hexian man, and Yuanmo man, are all examples of Homo erectus. No 8, ITEM 8. People who use tools. Source: ChatGPT. The ability to use tools is shared by many human species and is a key characteristic of humans. Here are some human species and their tool-using abilities. Homo sapiens. Modern humans are masters of tool use, and we use a variety of tools to accomplish a variety of tasks, including hunting, gathering, construction, agriculture, crafts, scientific research, communications, and many other fields. Homo habilis. Homo habilis was an early human species that lived about 2.5 million to 1.5 million years ago. They are thought to be early tool users, using simple stone tools to handle food and other tasks. Homo erectus. Homo erectus was also an early tool user, using more advanced stone tools, including hand axes and swords. These tools allowed them to hunt, skin, and process food. Neanderthals. Neanderthals were an early human species that used stone and wooden tools and had complex cultural and craft techniques, including making clothing and accessories. Homo floresiensis. Homo floresiensis was a smaller early human species that used simple stone tools, including small stone axes and stone knives. Tool use is one of the foundations of human civilization and culture, allowing us to improve the quality of life, adapt to different environments, and solve various challenges. The tool-using techniques of different human species have continued to develop and improve over the course of evolution, reflecting our intelligence and creativity. No 9, ITEM 9. Language speakers. Source: ChatGPT. The use of language is a unique characteristic of human beings, and language is the foundation of our culture, society, and thinking. All modern and ancient human species possess some form of language ability. Here are some human species and their language use. Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens are the only modern human species and are known for their highly developed language abilities. We use language to communicate, express ideas, transfer knowledge, and build culture and social organizations. Different languages are spoken in different regions and cultures. Homo neanderthalensis. Neanderthals are also thought to have had a language, but we know little about their language because their language is not recorded. Homo habilis. Homo habilis was one of the early human species that may have had rudimentary language abilities, but little is known about their language. Homo erectus. Homo erectus lived quite early and may have had some language ability, but we are not sure how their language worked. Homo floresiensis. Homo floresiensis was a smaller early human species whose language abilities are poorly understood. Language is a key element of human civilization, allowing us to transfer knowledge, build social organizations, create literature and art, conduct scientific research, and communicate in daily life. Different languages are spoken by different cultures and social groups, which results in linguistic diversity and contributes to cultural richness. No 10, ITEM 10. Animals that use language. Source: ChatGPT. Language is generally viewed as a highly developed cognitive and communication tool commonly associated with humans. However, some non-human animals also exhibit different forms of language or communication, and while their language differs from human language, it is still an effective communication tool. Here are some animals that use language or communication. Whales. Certain whales, such as killer whales and sperm whales, communicate with their songs and sound patterns. These sounds travel through the water and are thought to be a form of language and are used for social interaction, finding food, and communicating over long distances. Birds. Many birds use calls, and other sounds to communicate. This form of communication functions in situations such as courtship, warning of danger, marking territory, and cooperative hunting. Bees. Bees use a complex dance language to tell their peers the location and quality of food. This language is called the bee dance and is an efficient way of sharing food. Stream crabs. Stream crabs use sound and vibrations to communicate. They make sounds and vibrations to attract mates, mate, or warn other crabs. Birds and primates. Some birds and primates use tools and gestures to communicate. For example, crows use tools to solve problems, and primates like chimpanzees use gestures and facial expressions to communicate. These examples show that not only humans have the ability to communicate. There are various forms of communication in the animal kingdom, including sounds, visual signals, smells, postures and behaviors. Each creature's language or mode of communication serves a specific purpose and is used in different situations and social interactions. Although they are different from human speech, they are still an important communication tool in the lives of these animals. Source: Fu-Jen Catholic University. The most obvious feature that distinguishes humans from other species is that humans have a perfect communication system language. In order to understand the characteristics of other species, linguists usually focus on the study of animal communication systems. Many animals in nature have their own ways of communicating, and examples studied include the dance of bees, the songs of birds, chimpanzees, Washoe, Sarah, Lana, Nimchimpsky, Sherman, Austin and Matata, horses and dolphins, Buzz and Doris, communication systems and records of the process of human-like animals, chimpanzees, learning human language. Generally speaking, the communication systems of other species have the characteristics of language to some extent, but their precision is still not as sophisticated as the human language system. Linguist Noam Chomsky believes that language is a gift of human beings and is unique to humans. He also believed that no matter how smart the apes were, they would not be able to learn human language. But in other species, especially chimpanzees, research shows that chimpanzees are actually capable of learning the simplest languages. No 11, ITEM 11. Tortoise. Source: ChatGPT. Chickadee, tortoise, is a genus containing multiple bird species, mainly distributed in Eurasia, Africa, and America. The genus Tit contains many species, some of which may be better known include European tit, common blackbird. The European tit is a bird species commonly distributed in Europe, Asia, and North Africa. The male's plumage is solid black, while the female's plumage is dark brown. They feed on insects, worms, fruits, and seeds and are known for their sweet songs. Red-winged blackbird. The red-winged tit is mainly distributed in North America. It is a black bird. The male has bright red wings and yellow underwings. They live in swamps and wetland areas and feed on insects, seeds, and plants. Snowfinch. Fieldfare snowfinch is a bird widely distributed in Eurasia. They have a gray back and light orange chest. They usually live in farmland and open areas and feed on insects, worms, and fruits. Green tit. Song thrush. The green tit is a kind of tit commonly distributed in Eurasia. Its mouth is particularly suitable for opening snail shells. They feed on bugs, snails, insects and fruits and are known for their varied songs. These are just a few of the species in the genus Chickadee, a genus that includes several species and subspecies with a variety of appearances and habits in different regions. Chickadees are generally herbivorous or omnivorous birds that play important roles in various ecosystems and contribute to ecological balance and ecosystem health. Chickadees have their own avian language, or way of communicating. Chickadees use sounds, calls, and songs to communicate within the group, court mates, warn of danger, establish territories, and interact socially. These sounds have specific meanings in Chickadee society, which they use to convey information and maintain social relationships. The bird language of chickadees is an important tool for chickadee populations, which they use to communicate many messages, including gender, status, location of food, threats, and other important information. The form and structure of this language are very different from human language, but it plays a key role in chickadee society. Bird language and communication methods are often species-specific, meaning different species of chickadees may have different speech or sounds. Ornithologists study the bird language of chickadees to better understand their lives, behavior, and ecology. No. 12, ITEM 12. Vervet monkey. Source: ChatGPT. The black howler monkey is a monkey from Central and South America, belonging to the genus Alouatta. They are known for their black fur and exceptionally long tails, which can sometimes be up to 2 feet long. Here is some information about vervet monkeys. Appearance: the vervet monkey's body is mostly covered with thick black fur, but sometimes other colors of hair are found, such as red or golden variants. They have a very large mouth and make a unique howling sound, which is a kind of trumpet-like call. Distribution: vervet monkeys are mainly distributed in Central and South America, including Mexico, Central American countries and South American countries. They live in tropical rainforests, wetlands, and forested areas. Social structure: vervet monkeys are social animals and usually live in groups, led by a leader called a male. This social structure facilitates cooperation in hunting food, maintaining territory, and protecting young monkeys. Diet: vervet monkeys feed mainly on leaves, young leaves, flowers, and fruits, and have a specialized stomach to digest cellulose. Howl: vervet monkeys are known for their unique howl, which can be heard for miles. Howls are commonly used for territorial assertion, warning of potential threats, and social communication. Endangered status: some subspecies of vervet monkeys are endangered, primarily due to deforestation, habitat loss, and illegal hunting. International conservation and conservation efforts aim to protect vervet monkeys and their habitat. Vervet monkeys are unique creatures in Central and South America. Their leisurely lifestyle and unique roar make them an important part of the tropical rainforest ecosystem. No. 13, ITEM 13. People with big brains. Source: ChatGPT. Human brain size varies between populations and individuals, but brain size should not be considered a specific characteristic of a race. Brain volume is part of individual differences, and the variation in brain volume between individuals of different races is very small. Brain size is often affected by genetics, environment, nutrition, lifestyle, and other factors. All humans belong to the same species, Homo sapiens, and the differences in brain size between different human species are relatively small. The human brain is roughly between 1,200 and 1,500 cubic centimeters, with little variation regardless of race or geographic origin. Brain size alone cannot be used to evaluate a person's intelligence, or abilities. Brain capacity is only one aspect of the brain. What is more important is the structure, connections, and functions of the brain. Differences in intelligence and abilities among humans depend more on education, culture, environment, social background, and other complex factors. In short, the differences in brain size between human races are very small and should not be used to distinguish different human races. Human intelligence and ability are determined by a variety of factors. Source: NetEase. British scientists studied the brain capacity of 3 major human races and found that East Asians have the highest IQ. British scientists studied the brain capacity of the world's three major human races and found that East Asians have the highest IQ. Forward, the best mixed-race babies are actually cross-provincial mixed-race babies from China, because Chinese are the majority of East Asians, and East Asians are the smartest people in the world. The average IQ test in East Asia is 106, with Caucasians around 100, Black Americans at 85, and Black Saharan Africans at 70. However, blacks are more athletically gifted than whites and East Asians. Why? Because East Asians have the largest brain capacity, white people are second, and black people are the worst. Another scientific study is even more astonishing. Before World War II, European scientists found that the overall quality of people from mixed-race countries was lower than that of painters from pure-blood countries. Why? Because children with bad deeds caused by mixed blood are far higher than children with good qualities. This is also the scientific reason why Hitler vigorously promoted the pure Aryan strategy in Germany during World War II and excluded foreign populations. This is because German scientists have concluded that the disadvantages of mixed race are higher than the advantages of mixed race, and mixed race does more harm than good. Hitler also relied on this scientific research to believe that Americans would have poor combat effectiveness, and believed that the United States was a poor and weak race because the United States was a mixed-race country. However, after the Americans faked the efforts of the Soviet Union and the Chinese to win World War II, they blocked the news about the disadvantages of mixed race, and vigorously promoted the advantages of mixed race to cover up this fact, so that now, some East Asians and Chinese think that mixed race, especially mixing with white people, is the reason for giving birth to high-quality babies. This is the insidiousness of the United States. This is also the reason why it is currently popular in China for Chinese women to have mixed-race babies with white Americans, and to use this to attack the Chinese race as an inferior race. No 14, ITEM 14. Fictional ability. Source: ChatGPT. Fictionality refers to the uniquely human ability that enables us to create, understand, and participate in fictional worlds, stories, imaginations and art forms. Here are some characteristics associated with fictional abilities. Imagination. Human beings have a rich imagination and are able to create an unlimited number of fictional plots, scenes and characters. We can immerse ourselves in fictional worlds and experience all kinds of adventures and emotions. Story and art. The ability to fictionalize allows us to create literature, movies, paintings, music, and other art forms. These artworks reflect human culture, values, and emotions. Social interaction. Humans often use fictional stories and characters to interact socially. For example, role play and discussion of fictional stories are part of social activities. Problem solving. Fictional plots and storylines allow us to think about and solve real-life problems. This ability helps us develop creative thinking and imagination. Memory and learning. Fictional stories and characters can help us retain information and learn new things. It's easier to remember a good story or a profound fictional character than mere facts. The ability to fictionalize is an important part of human culture and civilization, enriching our lives, inspiring our creativity, and helping to understand and process complex emotions and thoughts. This ability allows us to weave stories, art, and fictional worlds, elements that add depth and richness to our lives. Source: Zhu. What is fictional ability? Fictional ability is the ability to imagine and tell stories. Let me give you two extreme examples to ensure you understand in seconds. For example, two dogs will only fight if they see a real bone. And two people will imagine a bone in their minds and then fight. Continuing with this logical example, there was a report on the internet about a couple who first fantasized about 5 million, and then started talking about how to spend the fantasy 5 million. In the process of planning to spend money, the two had differences, and both felt that the other party had taken advantage. So the quarrel turned into a fight, and finally the wife got angry and called the police. This is really a ridiculous story. Fighting because of daydreams is probably only a human behavior. Another example is the famous idiom looking at plum blossoms to quench thirst. It is said that during the Three Kingdoms period, Cao created an imaginary plum forest in order to encourage thirsty soldiers who were marching long distances to continue moving forward. The soldiers relied on the imagination of the sweet and sour plums to gain motivation to move forward. Finally, Cao led the army to find the water source. The ability of fiction is the basis for human beings to organize resources and collaborate efficiently. More importantly, it makes our lives more colorful. Who hasn't grown up listening to stories? How boring this world would be without those oral stories, scripts, novels, TV movies, etc. No 15, ITEM 15. Ghosts and Gods Say. Source: ChatGPT. Human beings have unique creative abilities in religion, mythology, and belief in ghosts and gods. This kind of belief and creation plays an important role in the formation and development of human culture, history, and society. Here is some relevant information about ghost beliefs and human creativity. Religious beliefs. Human beings have developed various religious beliefs, including Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, etc. These religions usually include the worship of one or more gods and form a set of moral and ethical norms that guide people's behavior and lifestyle. Myths. Humans have created numerous myths that describe creation, gods, heroes, and myths, and convey culture, values, and history in narrative form. These myths play different roles in different cultures and are often important elements of social cohesion and identity. Ghost beliefs. Ghost beliefs exist in many cultures and include the worship of ancestral spirits, ghosts, goblins, angels, and other supernatural entities. These forms of belief reflect human curiosity and awe of the supernatural world. Creation. Humans have created various forms of ghosts, gods, and supernatural entities through art, literature, and performance. The images of myths and gods in works of art are often presented with rich imagination and artistic expression. Social functions. Beliefs in ghosts and gods and religious beliefs play a variety of roles in society, including providing moral guidance, establishing social norms, comforting and encouraging individuals, and dealing with fundamental issues of death and life. Beliefs in ghosts and gods are part of human culture, and they reflect human understanding of the supernatural, the universe, and human existence. These beliefs and creations are a reflection of human cultural diversity and are considered vital elements in many cultures. No 16, ITEM 16. Prehistoric lion figure. Source: ChatGPT. The prehistoric lion figure is an ancient piece of art, often created by ancient civilizations, depicting a half-man, half-animal figure, with a combination of human and leonine characteristics. These figures appear in different periods and regions, and have different cultural and religious backgrounds. Here is some information about prehistoric lion figures. Specific period and region. Prehistoric lion statues first appeared in ancient Mesopotamia, around 3500 BC to 3000 BC. The Sumerian civilization, Athenian civilization, and other cultures in the area had such creations. They are also found in the cultures of ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient India, and other regions. Symbolic meaning. Prehistoric lion figures are often symbolic, representing courage, strength, authority, protection and divinity. They are sometimes seen as patron saints or religious images. Artistic style. The artistic style of prehistoric lion figures varies by period and region, from simple primitive images to more elaborate and complex sculptures. Some lion figures have a human head, a lion body, and human or lion forelimbs. Materials. These figures are usually made of stone, clay, metal, or other materials, depending on local resources available and artistic techniques. Historical and archaeological value. Prehistoric lion figures have important historical and archaeological value for understanding ancient cultures and religious practices. They provide information about ancient societies and belief systems. Prehistoric lion figures are part of the artistic and cultural heritage and represent ancient human imagination, beliefs, and artistic expression. These ancient creations reflect the diversity of ancient cultures and beliefs and provide us with the opportunity to gain insight into ancient humans. Source: Wikipedia. The Lion Man statue was made from ivory by prehistoric humans 30,000 years ago. Originally called the Lion Man by scientists, it is also the oldest known animal-shaped sculpture in the world. In 1939, this superb prehistoric sculpture was discovered in the Hollenstein cave in Germany. Scientists' earliest reconstructions reveal a headless humanoid statue. Between 1997 and 1998, additional fragments of the sculpture were discovered and the head was reconstructed. 30,000-year-old Lion Man sculptures bear some resemblance to French cave paintings, both showing hybrid genetic, unreal creatures. However, the French mural is thousands of years younger than the German Lion Man statue. Following the identification of this artifact, a similar smaller lion head sculpture was discovered in another cave in the same area of Germany, along with other animal sculptures and several prehistoric flutes. From this, we can infer the possibility that this Lion Man statue played an important role in human history in the early Upper Paleolithic age. A 30,000-year-old statue of a prehistoric Lion Man is currently on display at the Ulm Museum in Germany. No. 17, ITEM 17. Robin Dunbar. Source: ChatGPT. Robin Dunbar is a British anthropologist and evolutionary psychologist who is famous for proposing Dunbar's number. He was born in 1947 and is currently a professor at Oxford University, mainly engaged in research on social and evolutionary psychology. Dunbar's research focuses on human social behavior and social structure, particularly regarding the size of social circles. The Dunbar number he proposed is a theoretical upper limit, indicating the number of social relationships that a person can stably maintain, which is approximately between 100 and 250. This number is thought to be limited by our brains and cognitive abilities, as well as the number of intimate relationships we are able to maintain. Dunbar's research also includes work on social networks, the strength and quality of interpersonal relationships, and the evolutionary basis of social behavior. His research is of great significance to understanding human social behavior and human evolution, and has had a profound impact on the fields of psychology, anthropology, and sociology. In addition, Dunbar has published several books, including Human Evolution, which explore topics such as human evolution, intelligence, social relationships, and culture. His research provides valuable insights into our understanding of human behavior and social structure. Source: Wikipedia. Robin I.M. Dunbar, English, Robin Ian MacDonald Dunbar, born June 28, 1947, is a British anthropologist and evolutionary psychologist who specializes in primate behavior. He is famous for proposing the Dunbar number. No. 18, ITEM 18. Dunbar's number. Source: ChatGPT. Dunbar's number is a social psychological concept proposed by British anthropologist Robin Dunbar. This concept describes a theoretical upper limit on the size of human social circles, that is, the number of stable social relationships a person can maintain. According to Robin Dunbar's theory, the approximate range of Dunbar's number is about 150, and the specific number may be between 100 and 250. This number means the number of social relationships a person can maintain stably, including relatives, friends, colleagues, etc. These relationships can range from the closest family and friends to slightly less close social circles. The idea of Dunbar's number suggests that this upper limit may be determined by our brain and psychological cognitive abilities. When our social circles expand beyond Dunbar's number, we may feel confused, stressed, and unable to maintain relationships, so we tend to focus on maintaining smaller social circles. Although Dunbar's number provides an interesting perspective, it is not a strict number but a theoretical concept. Everyone's social abilities and needs are different, so Dunbar's number may vary in real life. However, this concept helps us better understand human social behavior and the formation of social networks. Source: Wikipedia. Dunbar's number, also known as the Law of 150, refers to the upper limit of the number of people who can maintain close interpersonal relationships with a person. It is usually considered to be 150. Interpersonal relationships here are relationships between someone who knows who other people are and understands those people. Supporters believe that teams that exceed this number need stricter rules, laws, and mandatory norms to maintain stability and cohesion. Dunbar's number does not have an exact value, it ranges from 100 to 230, with 150 being commonly used. Dunbar's number was first proposed by British anthropologist Robin Dunbar in the 1990s. It is determined by the size of the neocortex and therefore becomes a limit on the size of a team. Neocortical processing capacity determines the upper limit of the number of people with whom a person can maintain a close personal relationship. In such a group, everyone knows each other and is aware of each other's relationships. In addition, this number includes familiar old classmates and old colleagues, which means that the actual number of close friends will be even smaller, until it is close to single digits. No 19, ITEM 19. Breaking through Dunbar number. Source: ChatGPT. Breaking through Dunbar's number means expanding your social circle and establishing solid social relationships with more people. Although Dunbar's number is a theoretical upper limit, some people may wish to expand their social networks. Here are some methods that may help you beat Dunbar's number. Social skills: develop better social skills, including initiating conversation, listening, expressing emotions, and building deep connections. This will help you build better relationships with others. Social activities: attend a variety of social activities such as parties, social gatherings, clubs, and volunteering. Events like this provide the opportunity to expand your social circle. Leverage technology: social media and online technology can help you expand your social circle, stay in touch with friends and family far away, and connect with new people. Shared interests: join activities or groups with shared interests so you can connect with others who share similar interests and build deeper relationships. Interact with strangers: having the courage to connect with strangers, such as initiating conversation in new social situations, can broaden your social circle. Stay connected: stay in touch with friends and family regularly and be proactively involved in their lives to keep social connections alive. Learn social networking skills: learn how to build and maintain social networks, including making deep connections, maintaining connections, and handling social challenges. Beating Dunbar's number may take time and effort, but it can enrich your life, increase your opportunities, and help you build more valuable connections. However, please note that no matter the size of your social circle, it is important to maintain quality relationships, not just quantity. Source: Daubon Reading. Use technical means to break through Dunbar's number. Because of the computing capacity of the brain, it is difficult for us to interact with more than 150 people at the same time. Of course, some people who are particularly good at socializing will exceed this number. This is also the reason why we often fail to remember one-time acquaintances. Sometimes when we see a familiar face, we can't remember his name for a long time. Because face recognition requires a lot of memory, we like simple cartoon faces, like the picture below, which is simple and easy on the brain. Based on Dunbar's number, we discovered our limitations. But we can use technical means to break through the limitations of memory, and we can also improve the level of computing through minimalism. Use technical means to break through the limitations of memory. This includes recording many details. For example, after adding a friend on WeChat, you need to note down the information you learned at that time. For those who need to remember, you can note his unit and position after the WeChat name, and add the details of the chat at that time in the notes column. Improve computing efficiency through minimalism. Socializing doesn't have to be overwhelming. After all, if we want to make new connections, we need to let go of old ones. Therefore, there is no need to meet new friends frequently, and attention should be paid to maintaining the relationship with old friends. No 20, ITEM 20. How do nations arise? Source: ChatGPT. A nation is a community of people who often share a similar language, culture, religion, traditions, and history. The formation and development of a nation is a complex process that usually involves multiple factors. Here are some key factors that help understand how nations arise. Common language. A common language is often an important factor in the formation of a nation. People often find it easier to form connections and community with those who speak the same language. Common culture. Common cultural factors including traditions, religion, customs, food, and art, etc., help to unite a community and establish its identity. Shared history. Shared historical events and experiences can form the basis of a nation, such as shared wars, migrations, revolutions, or other significant events. Geographic factors. Geographic factors, such as people living in the same geographical area, also help form nations. Geographic factors can influence people's lifestyles, economy, and culture. Social identity. People's identification with themselves as belonging to a particular group is also a key factor in the formation of a nation. This identification can be voluntary or the result of social and political pressure. Politics and power structures. Political factors can also influence the formation of nations. The creation, unification, or fragmentation of political entities may affect national identity. Immigration and migration. Immigration and migration processes can cause people of different cultures and languages to come together to form new ethnic groups. Education and media. The education system and media play an important role in shaping national identity. Education and media can help shape national identity by spreading specific cultural values and language. Ethnic formation is a gradual process that often takes many generations and is influenced by a variety of factors. It is a complex issue in a multicultural society. The formation of ethnic groups in different regions and times may have different motivations and development processes. Source: Wikipedia. In Chinese, the word nation has multiple references and can express similar concepts such as race, nation, and ethnic group. Its usage is affected by political ideologies and is easily confused with each other. There are also many differences in the definition of ethnicity among different disciplines. The word ethnic is also very easy to confuse when translating it from Chinese to foreign languages. For example, the precise translation of nationalism should be nationalism, the precise translation of ethnology should be ethnology, etc. The concept of the Chinese nation itself is more biased towards the national concept. Before the Revolution of 1911, the revolutionaries tried to establish a Han nationality based on the Han areas at that time to resist the national oppression of the Qing court. At this time, the Chinese and Han nationalities had the same meaning and were ethnic concepts. After the revolutionaries proposed the Five Ethnic Republic, the Chinese nation changed to represent all ethnic groups in China and became a national concept. The term nation can be traced back to Xiao Zixian's Book of Southern Qi Gao Yi Xuan in the Liang dynasty of the Southern Dynasty. Today's Chinese gentry and women, the nationality cannot be changed, and in Li Quan's Tebe Yinjing of the Tang dynasty, a fool can get it. Overthrow the clan and destroy the nation, but its meaning is the people. Modern Japanese translators translated European works, mainly German works, and used the word nation to correspond to nation, nation, or ethnic group, and then introduced it to China. This makes the Chinese word nation have multiple references, and the concept of nation begins to differentiate itself from human communities such as race, nation, and ethnic group. In modern Japanese, the word nation refers specifically to an ethnic group, while the word nation is replaced by the word national. After Marx's death, Engels published The Origin of the Family, Private Property, and the State in 1884, which is regarded as the first classic work of Marxist ethnology. Mentioned the laws of nation formation. People combine into groups, blood relations form primitive family types and form a kinship system, gradually excluding sexual relations among compatriots. Blood groups with common ancestors form clans, clans form tribes, and then form tribal alliances, integrating into the people, folk. With the increase of productivity, the expansion of division of labor, the emergence of new production relations, and the emergence of new classes, the clan system gradually became unable to bear the burden, and was eliminated, followed by the emergence of a country composed of new nations. From clan to country, nation is used in two ways. The former is folk, which corresponds to blood relationship, and the latter is nation, which is full of modern nation meaning. In other words, when Engels mentioned the law of national development, the modern nation or nation under capitalist society he was referring to should correspond to the gradual formation of the modern country and involve the people's community with national consciousness as the core. Nation. This word must be attached to the discourse context formed by country to have its status. Since nations and nations are dependent on the emergence of the state system and correspond to capitalist society, they are only a product of a specific stage of historical development. After the emergence of the oppression of the proletariat by the bourgeoisie served by the state system, the so-called unified national class interests in the Communist Manifesto gave way to class interests, in class antagonism. As long as the most basic form of oppression can be eliminated, class oppression, other forms of oppression, including national oppression, will be resolved accordingly. By that time, nations and nations will, like countries, lose the need to exist and die naturally. In 1912, Stalin, then editor of Pravda, was sent by Lenin to Vienna to write a pamphlet on national issues in order to resolve the disputes within the Second International and the Russian Communist Party over national autonomy and self-determination. The result is Marxism and the National Question, which is cited as the Bible for the definition of nation by Marxist national theory. From the perspective of modern national research, this definition is quite rough. However, from the perspective of historical materialism, Stalin proposed the definition of nation for the first time with clear objective characteristics. A nation is a stable community formed by people in history with a common language, a common region, a common economic life, and a common psychological quality reflected in a common culture. A nation, like any historical phenomenon, is governed by the law of change. It has its own history and its own beginning and end. Only when all characteristics are present can it be considered a nation. Nation is not an ordinary historical category, but a historical category of a certain era, that is, the era of rising capitalism. In the future, after the founding of the People's Republic of China, these four national characteristics defined by Stalin were used to identify ethnic minorities in China. In 2005, the People's Republic of China defined ethnicity as a nation is a stable community of people formed at a certain stage of historical development. Generally speaking, nations have common characteristics in terms of historical origins, production methods, language, culture, customs, and psychological identity. Religion plays an important role in the formation and development of some ethnic groups. The People's Republic of China regards blood as a major prerequisite for identifying a citizen's ethnic identity. No 21, ITEM 21. How does a country come into being? Source: ChatGPT. Nation formation is a complex process that typically includes the following concepts and stages. Land and territory. The formation of a state usually involves the identification of a specific geographical area, which is called the territory of the state. This may include defining national boundaries and establishing the geographical scope of the country. Government and power. The formation of a state requires the establishment of government and government institutions to exercise power, make laws, and manage affairs. The form and operation of government can vary from country to country. Sovereignty. Sovereignty is the core concept of a state, which represents a state's control over its own internal and external affairs. States usually have the power to make laws, impose taxes, manage armies, and conduct foreign affairs. People and citizenship. The formation of a state involves determining the identity of its inhabitants or citizens. People are usually given specific rights and responsibilities to ensure social order and observance of the law. Identity and culture. Nation formation is also about identity and culture. Countries often have specific languages, cultures, religions, and traditions that help form their identity. International recognition. State formation usually requires recognition by the international community. This includes recognition of the sovereign status of the newly formed state by other states and international organizations. Historical and political processes. The process of state formation may involve historical events, political movements, revolutions, and diplomatic agreements. These events are often important moments in the formation of nations. National constitution and legal system. Countries usually need to develop a constitution and legal system to ensure that the rules for government operation are clear and the rights of citizens are protected. The formation of a country is a gradual process that can undergo different changes in different periods and regions. It often reflects a combination of specific geographical, historical, cultural, and political conditions. States are the basic building blocks of the modern international system and come in different sizes and forms around the world. Source: Wikipedia. Country, also known as country or state, mostly refers to sovereign state in modern times. In a broad sense, a country refers to a social group that shares a common language, culture, race, religion, territory, political power, or history. In a narrow sense, a country is a community formed by people within a certain range. The General National Administrative Authority is its symbol, which is a national institution with social governance power and has internal and external sovereignty within a certain territory. In ancient Chinese, the original word guo or state originally meant a city or a city's territorial boundary, which was the fiefdom of the princes under the feudal system. Because territory is inherited hereditary, combined with family, it becomes the compound word country, which means a hereditary dynasty established by a certain family. Before the Qing dynasty in China, it was believed that all territory in the world was owned by the emperor, so there was no clear definition of a country, and the word country in ancient Chinese was not completely consistent with modern times. The meaning of country in modern Chinese mainly originated from various political theories in Europe between the 16th and 19th centuries, and was gradually introduced to China from European countries and the United States in the middle and late 19th century. The word country in Chinese was called guo in ancient times. The character in the oracle bone script is, later developed into the character or, which symbolizes holding weapons to defend the territory. The word, i.e. encirclement, was added to the bronze inscriptions to symbolize the city wall and form the current country, which means city-state, city, and capital. Domains are also differentiated from this. In addition, there is the word bang, which is synonymous with country. The oracle bone text means trees planted on the field boundaries. The bronze inscriptions changed to Feng Jieyi to strengthen the concept of territory and boundaries, and later it was transformed into referring to the fiefdoms of princes. The meaning of guo in ancient Chinese is similar but not identical to the modern concept of country, and guo and family were initially distinguished. For example, Book of Changes says, "This means that the body is safe and the country can be protected." The country evolved from the clan land of the tribal alliance to the fiefdom of its vassals in the Shang and Zhou dynasties. After the Qin and Han dynasties, one country ruled the world. Since Confucian culture emphasized the isomorphism of family and state, family also refers to family and family, thus forming the conditions for mentioning family and country simultaneously. Country refers to the entire country, such as Lu Xiang of the Western Han dynasty said in Zhuo Yuan, "As long as there is someone who can secure the country and benefit the people." History of the Ming dynasty, the country depends on Gong Er. However, the country that appears in ancient Chinese books refers to a dynasty formed by a family with a certain surname, and is not the concept of a modern nation-state. When Western learning spread to the East, the word country was used to attach to the Western state. In the context of social sciences and human geography, a country refers to a territory distinguished by people, culture, language, and geography, a territory distinguished by political autonomy, the people of a territory or state, an area associated with specific people. According to Max Weber's definition, the state has a monopoly on the legitimate use of violence. The state therefore includes institutions such as the armed forces, civil servants or state bureaucracy, courts, and government agencies such as the police. In international relations theory, as long as a country's independent status is recognized by other countries, the country can enter the international realm, and this is also an important key to proving its own sovereignty. Although the term state is generally used broadly to refer to any governmental institution or act of governance, ancient or modern, many features of the modern state system did not begin to appear until the 15th century in Western Europe. In the late 20th century, the globalization of the world economy, the mobility of people and capital, and the rise of many international institutions, limited the governance capabilities of countries. However, the vast majority of countries still have basic sovereign functions. Therefore, the state is still one of the most important fields in political science research, and the definition of the state is often a focus of debate among scholars. In political sociology, the theories of Karl Marx and Max Weber have generally tended to broaden the definition of the state to increase the emphasis on institutions with coercive power. Since the late 19th century, all inhabitable land in the world has been divided among countries. Before then, large areas of land were either uninhabited, had not yet been claimed by any country, or were inhabited only by nomads. As of 2016, there are nearly 200 countries in the world, including 197 generally recognized sovereign states, including UN member states and UN observer states, and 10 countries that have actual internal sovereignty but whose sovereignty is disputed, the vast majority, 193, of which are members of the United Nations. Jonathan Haass summarized two models of the origin of the state. One is the conflict theory, which believes that the emergence of the state stems from the need to resolve the inherent conflicts in the social stratification system. The other is the integration theory, which believes that the emergence of the state is the result of the need for collaboration. Haass summarized the three main ways in which countries emerge. The evolution of states takes place amid environmental constraints and frequent wars. The evolution of the country is based on the export and exchange of a large number of basic living materials. The country evolved from large-scale water conservancy and irrigation projects. British philosopher David Hume believes that the documented history of countries shows that the country originated from the use of force by a few people to forcibly rule over the majority. He denied that people formed states because they signed a social contract. He believes that in ancient times, all people were uneducated rough people and had no concept of rights and obligations. At that time, a country could only be established by force. German philosopher Immanuel Kant believed that people who originally lived dispersed lived together in order to resist the intrusion of nomads or vagrants, forming villages and towns and forming societies. In this way, people began to organize and build larger societies for their own safety. They arm themselves and govern themselves. The country gradually took shape. Based on this reasoning, British sociologist Herbert Spencer further believed that war in society leads to the formation of states. He claimed that the kings who founded all ancient states were originally generals. Karl Marx believed that the state only appeared after the emergence of private property in the late primitive society. Before that, there were only tribes based on blood relations. According to some research on archaeology and anthropology in ancient Europe and China, there are two modes of transition from clan communes to states, evolving directly from clan societies, evolving from chiefdoms that emerged after the disintegration of clan societies. Marx believed that the state satisfies the needs of the dominant social class to exercise domination over other classes. Recently, there is a new theory created by overseas Chinese scholar Yu Xing that the use of language by humans leads to the formation of nations. It is believed that since humans began to use language, they have continuously utilized and developed media. Media extend communication distance. People communicate on a larger scale and form a larger society. The primitive society formed by kinship ties disintegrated, and the civilized society established by language was formed. In other words, all members of a tribe in a primitive society must be connected by the same blood relationship, while all members of a country in a civilized society must speak the same language. Political linguistics adopts this perspective. This view is also the theoretical basis for the emerging political linguistics in academic circles. No 22, ITEM 22. How to unite. Source: ChatGPT. Solidarity and relationship building are very important abilities for people in their social and personal lives, helping to build cooperation, sharing, and support. Here are some ways to help people unite and build stronger relationships. Open communication. Building a healthy relationship requires open and honest communication. Listen to others, share your thoughts and feelings, and ensure information flows both ways. Respect each other. Respect is the foundation of relationships. Respect the opinions, values, and feelings of others and expect the same respect in return. Shared interests. Shared interests and activities can help people connect. Join a social group, club, sports team, or other interest group to connect with others who share similar interests. Authenticity. Being genuine and consistent in relationships. Don't try to disguise yourself or hide your emotions. Being authentic to yourself can help build deep relationships. Mutual support. Providing mutual aid and support in relationships. Offer assistance and support when a friend or family member needs help, and expect to receive the same help when needed. Tolerance and tolerance. People have different perspectives and approaches, so be tolerant and tolerant of others' differences. Learn to remain calm and understanding when there are differences of opinion. Time and attention. Investing time and attention is key to building a relationship. Spend time with friends, family, or co-workers and care about their needs and feelings. Resolve conflict. Inevitably, conflicts will arise in relationships. Learn to solve problems effectively and seek consensus rather than avoid or sidestep conflict. Learning and growth. Relationships are constantly evolving and growing. Learn and grow in relationships and evolve with each other. Plan for shared goals. Ensuring that all parties in the relationship share common goals and values can strengthen unity. See the good in each other. Highlighting the strengths of others can promote positive emotions and closer connections. Listening. Learn to listen to other people's needs and feelings and understand their situations, which helps build empathy and empathy. Solidarity and relationship building take time, effort, and commitment, but they are valuable and can increase people's well-being and support systems. Whether with family, friends, colleagues, or community members, building positive, supportive relationships can have a positive impact on the health and well-being of individuals and society. Source: Wikipedia. Solidarity is a sense of cohesion of a team or social class developed from common interests, goals, standards, and emotions, which is also a social bond that transforms different groups of people into a whole. The concept of solidarity is widely used in the fields of sociology and social sciences, and even in the field of philosophy. It is an important concept in Catholic social thought and therefore a core proposition of Christian democratic politics. The basis and method of solidarity vary depending on social development conditions. In developing societies, it mainly relies on blood relations and common interests, while more developed societies have more diversified theoretical support for enhancing social cohesion and maintaining solidarity. Solidarity is one of the 6 fundamental principles of the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights. The United Nations designates December 20 each year as the International Day of Human Solidarity, and mentions the concept of solidarity in the Universal Declaration of Bioethics and Human Rights. With the in-depth development of biotechnology and biomedicine, the urgency of defining solidarity in the medical field is increasing day by day. No 23. ITEM 23. The importance of fictional ability. Source: ChatGPT. Imagination is an important part of human thinking and cognitive processes, and it plays a vital role in generating creativity and imagination. The following is the importance of fictional abilities. Generate creativity. The ability to make up is the basis of creativity. It allows people to transcend reality and explore new ideas, concepts, and solutions to problems. With fictional abilities, People can invent new products, create works of art, design new technologies, and drive innovation. Expand your thinking. The ability to make fiction helps expand the scope of your thinking. It enables people to imagine and explore different situations, perspectives, and possibilities, thereby enabling them to respond more resiliently to different situations. Inspire creativity. The ability of fiction inspires creativity. When people are free to imagine and explore new ideas, they are more likely to produce creative solutions and creative expressions. Problem solving. Fictional skills can help people solve complex problems. By simulating different scenarios and possibilities, people can find more effective solutions. Cultural expression. The capacity for fiction is fundamental to literature, art, music, and other forms of cultural expression. It allows artists and creators to create rich works that touch viewers' emotions and convey deep thoughts. Education and learning. Fictional abilities are also critical to education and learning. It helps students understand abstract concepts, build critical thinking and independent learning abilities. Coping with change. Fictional abilities enable people to predict and respond to future changes. This ability makes individuals more adaptable and better able to cope with changing environments and situations. In short, the ability to fictionalize is very important for the development and progress of individuals and society. Not only does it inspire creativity and imagination, it also prompts people to understand the world more deeply, discover new possibilities, and address the challenges of diversity. Therefore, it is crucial to encourage the cultivation and development of fictional abilities in education and life. Source: Wikipedia. Fiction is a fantasy, something that does not exist in the real world, a product of imagination in art, usually in the form of literature, movies, comics, etc., to create a virtual world and characters for artistic creation or entertainment. For example, in the creative process, writers use imagination and matching based on the logic of life to create things that do not exist in real life but are reasonable. Fiction often appears in different works, such as novels, plays, movies, cartoons, etc. In order to distinguish it from real life, the author will add words such as "this story is purely fictitious" and "any similarity is purely coincidental" in the work. This can also prevent unnecessary legal disputes. Fictional works are a highly creative art form whose content often involves fictional characters, places, events, time, and other elements, and is used to weave a virtual worldview. This creative process requires the author's imagination, literary expression, and creative skills. Therefore, fictional works are often regarded as the most creative and unique form of art. There are many types of fictional works, including novels, movies, comics, animations, TV series, etc. Among them, novels are the most representative and widely influential form of fictional works. Novels are expressed in words and often contain rich narratives and descriptions, which can deeply depict the inner world and emotions of the characters, allowing readers to deeply feel the plot and worldview depicted in the story. Characters in fictional works are usually fictitious, but they can also be fictional characters based on real people. These fictional characters have their own unique personalities, characteristics, and storylines, allowing readers to deeply experience their lives, emotions, and experiences. The creation process of fictional works is a quite rigorous and complex process. The author needs to go through many rounds of deliberation, revision, and proofreading before he can create a complete and beautiful work. In addition, fictional works also need to take into account factors such as the plot of the story, the character of the characters, the design of the worldview, the rhythm and suspense of the narrative, so that readers can be attracted by the story and deeply experience the worldview and emotions depicted in the work. Fictional characters may become reality based on market response and actual needs. For example, in some large-scale exhibitions such as World Expos, the organizers will set up some mascots and then build a series of scenes to make these fictional characters reality. Santa Claus is the representative among them. In fact, some people have established the Santa Claus Association and Santa Claus Village to make fictional characters like Santa Claus a reality, making the dreams of many people who believe in Santa Claus come true. Realizing fictional characters and scenes is now a very common business practice because such products are often relatable. In addition, sometimes the fictional settings used in fictional works may actually be the author's deliberate illusion or allusion to reality. The author uses the so-called fictional works to match some real phenomena, and sometimes it can play a role in satirizing current ills. Conclusion: the water that bears the boat is the same that swallows it up.